Hey there, this is Neil McPherson here, and I'm excited to share my agency intelligence system with you. So let me go ahead and dive in, all right? So, first off, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever noticed that some agencies seem to attract clients almost effortlessly while everyone else is chasing cold leads, competing on price, and hearing things like, I'll think about it, right? Instead of closing those big deals or keeping those clients long term? I used to wonder the same things when I first got started, and eventually I learned closing deals isn't about becoming better at sales, all right? It's about stacking the odds in your favor long before the conversation ever starts. Think about it, okay? When a business is actively looking for the exact service that you provide, closing deals gets easier, right? There's way less friction that you have exactly what they want. When you're offering something that's exploding in demand before everybody else jumps in, what do you think? Closing deals gets easier, right? Competition goes down, supply, demand goes up, you can charge more and you're in higher demand, so you have a lot less to compete on against other agencies, right? When you're explaining your services, it's not the 15th time that agency owner has heard that exact same pitch, right? So when your pricing makes perfect sense because the value is just so obvious, right, in your offer, okay, closing deals gets easier, right? There's no friction, there's no convincing on the price because they look at it and say, yeah, that works for me, right? And that it makes it like taking an order instead of convincing to close the deal, okay? That's a really important strategy. When your first offer also naturally leads to recurring monthly revenue for something a client genuinely needs that solves a big problem, closing deals gets easier, right? When you understand their business, their pain, their life, their problems, why they're losing money or why they're not making as much as they could or should be, and you walk into every conversation with a potential client with all these answers in advance instead of just guessing or getting in the conversation and fumbling around because you don't know what to say, closing deals gets easier. You see how it starts stacking on itself? When you stack all these advantages together, that's what it gives you the best chance to close the deal, even if you're not great at sales, even if you're new to the game and you don't have a lot of proof or a lot of previous experience, right? When you do it like this, selling starts to feel a whole lot less like selling, right? More like a conversation. Okay. Really, I'm just a regular guy, all right? Before digital mark, I'm pretty chill, down to earth, in my day-to-day life. I kind of just hang out with my friends and family, my dog, do my thing, right? Before digital marketing, I was a combat medic bouncing from job to job. I was a combat medic in the military for 4 years. And then when I got out, I bounced from job to job for like 3 or 4 years, doing anything you could think of and quitting after a couple of months, just trying to figure life out at 25. High school diploma. I was a certified EMT basic, thanks to the military not giving me any additional certification. Right? It's not like I had this huge leg up or advantage that other people had. Okay, I wasn't the smartest marketer. I wasn't the best salesperson. I just became obsessed with preparation. All right, becoming successful at digital marketing was massively important to me, and I believed in outworking the competition, right? Somebody told me early on, whatever you're trying to do or trying to accomplish, there are so many, and now it's just skyrocketed, right? There's somebody else who's willing to work all day and night to make it happen or has a better strategy, right? I've always been a big sports fan, basketball and football mainly, but played baseball growing up, golf, disc golfing, fishing, all of it, right? And so I kind of look at it like this, right? This is a quote by Emmitt Smith, the Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame running back, where he said, champions are built in the preseason, right? I think he said it in a commercial. But what he means is, it's about your preparation. It's about everything you can do before the game even starts to give yourself an advantage to win. So that when the season's on the line, you're in your best physical shape, you know everything about your opponent that's there's possible to know, and you put yourself in a position to win the game, right? And I look at sales and closing deals and clients the same way, right? So I focused on, since I didn't have all these extra advantages, what I did was I focused on positioning myself differently than my competition by knowing more than they did about my market, about my clients, about everything, about what was coming. And I helped myself get there first, right? Give myself an advantage where there's less competition, higher demand, and still high margins. Okay. I'd spend hours studying markets to figure out the least saturated but most profitable services before ever making a move. Okay. Sometimes months, right? always scanning for emerging opportunities, hot new products and services that can set me apart from other marketers, right? I forget the great quote about, if you ain't first, you're last, right? And that's another one by Will Ferrell. Um, and what I would do is I'd figure out what businesses were about to need, not what they need right now, not what's popular yesterday, not what everybody's talking about, right this second, but what they're going to need soon. How I can position myself to be there when the demand hits, okay, and get in early while margins are still high and competition is low, right? Video marketing was a great example of this. I got in early enough that it hadn't taken off and video hadn't become a must-have strategy in your marketing yet, but it was on its way, right? We started selling software, and that took off. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can use this, but it also works great in the agency space. Okay, and I use it heavily doing that. So this makes landing clients a whole lot easier from Jump Street. All right, this is my strategy for making closing the deals seem like you're just kind of taking an order and people are coming to you like, hey, I'm really glad I found you. That's what you want to be happening. Okay. So it worked with websites, YouTube ads, video marketing, as I mentioned, Facebook pages, right? There was a time and a point where it was like iframe Facebook pages that I was selling, that I was paying developers to build long before Facebook ever really moved heavily into the Facebook business pages, and everybody has one now. Same with mobile apps, now communities and AI services, right? So you see, I'm constantly positioning myself ahead of the curve, all right? And that's what you can do with this system, all right? So it works because it's not a guess, all right? This isn't something I just hoped it worked and, oh, I got lucky. It was study, research, what's working, studying competition, any case studies, market case studies, what do they call that? The reports when you want to invest in a company. I forget the name of it. Like not white label, but anyway, I'll skip it because I'm on a BSL. But you get what I'm saying, okay? Every piece of data that I could acquire to help me figure out, yeah, this is going to take off, right? YouTube ads was a great one, great example of that, where I really studied the market. I saw what Google was putting out. I saw where everything was going. They bought YouTube, and it just kind of became obvious that, wow, this is going to become really popular. And you see where that's at today. Okay, so getting in early gives you a huge advantage, and knowing what to look for. All right. So this process used to take me weeks, sometimes months. I said though, I mean to go through, but this process used to take me weeks, sometimes months to do. Okay, I would literally have to scour the web, use a variety of tools, go to in-person conferences, try to pick up everything I could from people in my market, and talk to others in my market just to get a picture of what was going to happen or where things were going. Right. So I took everything I'd learned over the years of building agencies, because now we have AI, every research checklist, every client getting framework, every question that I would ask before launching a service, every strategy I use before talking to a client, and everything I look for in markets that put you a step ahead, and what the best clients are to target for what you're selling in particular, right? So you're not the 15th person pitching them, okay? And I built this all into one simple system called Agency Intelligence System, all right? So you can get clients coming to you ready to buy by positioning yourself the right way with the right service that solves the right problem, okay? Have them be literally happy that they found you. I'm so glad I found you, when really it was like you set that all up from the jump, okay? Have the exact service clients are looking for help with at the exact moment they need help with it, for a price they can't refuse, with the perfect upsell. Make closing deals feel like taking an order. Attract businesses to you that are ready to buy. Like I said, that's a duplicate. I'll get that fixed. Create the perfect custom strategy for your business. Grow faster without doing cold pitching, right? You don't have to do hard selling or hard cold pitching with this strategy. You set yourself up in a way where you tap into where people are and you get them asking you for help, okay? Naturally generate recurring revenue deals. Uncover emerging opportunities before they get saturated while the margins are still high. And that's a big one, right? Inside, you get 4 specialized AI tools that work together. All right. These are all custom built by me. Okay. First one is Agency Market Intelligence. And what this does is it helps you figure out all the stuff, anything that I would be looking at for, what are the best services? What are the best upsells here? Is this saturated? What price point? Like figuring out what price points your competition is using. I would have to scour people's websites, all that. Pulls it in a 3 to 5 word prompt. Boom, everything into one place in a nice detailed report. Okay, so you have that's report number 1. Then second tool is prospect intelligence, right? This is now breaking down a niche, like for example, roofing in Dallas, Texas, or a niche with a service plus a city, something like that. Like I want to look more detail into, AI voice for the roofing market in Dallas, Texas, or I want to look into this company and I want to know everything about their business. I want to know about the owner. I want to know about their revenue. I want to know about their problems. I want to know about their market, right? I want to know everything that I can about their business. Again, 3 to 5 word prompt. Okay. Super simple. Third one, customer intelligence. So beyond that, now I want to know everything about their customer. I want to know about their customers' pain points, problems, complaints, objections to the client's services. And that's something you get in the prospect is objections, what they've been pitched, all that kind of stuff. But when you're talking about the consumers, what's their buying psychology? What makes them want to hire a roofing company, right? What are they tired of seeing? Pitches and advertisements from all these roofing companies, right? So how do we help our client stand out? So you can apply this stuff to their business too. So customer intelligence, everything about their customer or the consumer in that market that we would want. Not it's like every single stat, and that's something about these tools. They give you what you need to know instead of, I think a lot of times these research tools, especially if you're new, they give you all this data and you don't know what to do with it, right? Do I need to know, that their religion or they're married or whatever? Not necessarily, right? So this is all about pulling the key pieces of data to give us a quick look at what we need to look at to make a smart decision. All right. So it's detailed, but it's specific. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's where it gets really cool. Okay. We take all three of those reports and we put them into the strategy engine. All right. So this takes all your research and context, your market intelligence, for whatever, if it's Dallas, Texas, your local area, your agency market, you're in the video marketing space, it takes all that stuff into consideration. Everything we pull from step one, the prospect intelligence, the consumer intelligence, your agency context, right? So it thinks about your actual business situation as well. And then it gives you customized strategies focused on attracting clients, front end services that convert and sell themselves, and recurring upsells that are natural and help the client solve a genuine major problem. Okay. So it gives you an exact strategy for exactly what you're trying to accomplish at any given time. You can do this over and over and over. You can do this today. You can do this 6 months from now. You can do this a year from now, as many times as you need to as the market continues to adapt. And I think that's super important right now with the way AI is shifting the landscape. Things are changing on almost a monthly basis. So how do you know exactly what the best path is for your agency at any given time, right? This will help you illuminate that and give you a very specific strategy, okay? My voice is kind of giving me a hard time. So the strategy engine combines everything and tells you what to do next through a specific lens. What service should you sell? What are your upsells going to be? Which clients, which niche type should you go after? How should you position your offer? How should you price it? How should you approach the sale so it doesn't really feel like selling? How do you set yourself up so clients find you and are interested in buying from the get-go? Okay? Instead of guessing, you can win the game. There's my sports analogy before it even starts. Okay. Before you ever set up a website or add a page to your website or go, to anything in person, you can win. And that's the advantage. All right. So you make decisions using live market intelligence. You adjust your strategy to what's working now. And with this, you can do it all in 5 minutes. Okay. So the result is more confidence when you go into sales, better offers, better positioning, higher margins, less competition. All right. And yes, closing deals gets easier when you apply all this. All right. Much, much easier. So for a limited time, you can get the complete 4-step agency intelligence system for one low introductory price. Really, I think it's kind of a steal. Just click the buy button below right now and you can get access to the launch deal. If you're seeing this during the launch, the prices will be going up throughout the launch. So make sure you jump on this right away to get the best possible price. All right. You'll get instant access to everything I just broke down. You can also see the bonuses we're including below, which include like a research prompt library. So if you want to prompt the tools to go deeper on any one area of the research, you can do that very easily. We've got prompts ready to help you do that. And you can start making smarter agency decisions in minutes. All right. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact our support. And good luck, not good luck, but I'm excited to have you using the agency intelligence system and in our community if you're not already in there. And we look forward to helping you grow your business. All right. So thanks for watching and bye for now.